There's a message coming through around the experience of overwhelm. Just arrived on a new grid. This visit to London is very purpose driven. It's a divinely aligned opportunity, but what has happened is on the landing here, it's like there's so much coming into my field, into my awareness. It's brought in this experience of potential overwhelm. So I wanted to speak into that because I think it's something that a lot of us resonate with at different times, especially as we expand or up level or take more on or in, or reach a kind of, a space of a previous limit maybe of comfortability. And this overwhelm experience, which is actually kind of an old energy, the overwhelm. I mean, I've been working for a long time to turn the feeling of overwhelm into fullness, because they're different vibrations, they have different sensations and experience in the body, right? But then it's come back around again today, this kind of how much the feeling of overwhelm can sweep us away. So it can actually knock us off course. It can make us feel small, contracted, because it feels too much. And as soon as we feel like something is too much, it's very easy to retract. It's very easy to stop still. It's very easy to feel as if everything that's in your awareness is too much for you, when actually all it is there's too much in the pot at once. Like, think about if you're cooking, you're not going to put spices and herbs for Chinese, Indian and Mexican all in one pot, because you're not going to be able to taste anything. It's just too much, right? So if you're chucking everything in one pot at once, it's not going to have a positive effect. It's all there at once. It's overload. And that's essentially what's happening in the mind. It's like an overload of the mind. So when you've got too much in your awareness, too many things at once, and it leads to that feeling of overwhelm, what's been shown to me is to separate things out of the pot. So whatever's in the mind all together, buzzing around, there's too much there, so it will feel overwhelming. It's going to feel overwhelming. So I like to do this separation, if you like, or spreading, pulling things out, unpicking in nature, because it always helps my mind to clear. Because essentially in a pot of overwhelm, there's no clarity about any one thing, right? And then it goes into the body and you're like, oh, this is too much. So if we can really kind of pull apart all the things that are present, there could be an awareness of like 6 different things in the mind at once. And then we bounce from one thing to the other, and it's like, yeah, but this, and yeah, but that, and it's just a massive overwhelm. So if we can kind of separate out the things that are present and kind of just park them to one side, because not everything is doable right now. When you actually think about it, when we're in our power of knowing true self and how limitless and expansive and capable we are, it's almost impossible to be overwhelmed, because in reality we can only ever do one thing at a time. We can only really focus properly our attention presence on one thing at a time. So I like to come outside and connect with my breath. Now, the breath in the body is the way to access the now moment, the present moment. When we do that, actually there's only one thing that we can kind of deal with at once, and that's all we can do anyway. 444. I just asked Spirit a question. I'm like, can I really do this? Can I really take this on? In other words, am I really capable? I was thinking about it's too long a story to share now, but I was thinking about, you know, the way people were in the past. A lot of people, if you read stories in history, and her story about people that have achieved really big things, people that have stood for something really important and have made fucking massive change in this world. Like, if they'd have got overwhelmed or had a doubt of themselves, they wouldn't have been able to achieve that. They wouldn't have been able to get there, because they would have thought, fucking hell, this is too much. You know, I can't do this. If you've got those thoughts of self-doubt, it literally stops you from even attempting something, right? So it's kind of drawing on some people that I've been learning about in the past, and on things that they achieved, women and stuff that they achieved, and thinking, wow, you know, that these women were a different breed, but really they weren't a different breed. They weren't. They just had this ability to, this passion maybe, this fire, this focus, and an ability to see something through. So whatever's important to you, and whatever is coming up, and whatever you wish to see through, in reality, if we're super focused with our super consciousness on that, and on one aspect of it at a time, and then seeing that one thing through, seeing that one task through, seeing that one job through. When we have a higher purpose for what we're doing, and we literally zone in all of our focus, all of our will, all of our attention on one thing at a time, which is the only real thing we can do anyway. There's only one breath in every one now moment, and time is an illusion. It's just a series of eternal now moments. So in any one now moment, we can only take one breath. We can only truly focus on one thing. So anything other than that, overwhelm, is only possible when we're in our mind, as well as being in that moment. We're also in our minds, which is focusing on a million other things. It's focusing on the past and the future. No wonder we all get fucking overwhelmed when we're literally focusing on past, future, and what we've got to or want to achieve right now. So there's something around picking stuff out of the pot of the mind, keeping things simple in the sense of just breathing with what is in the now moment, and asking for help, like, Spirit, guide me as to what is the thing that is most productive and useful for me to focus on in this moment, and putting wholehearted focus on that to enable us to see it through. We are capable of achieving wonderful things as a human race, as humanity, the human spirit, like our capacity to direct and focus our passion, our attention, our will, our heart. You know, where there's a will, there's a way. So we really are capable of anything once we can get out of the soup of our own mind, which has got a million different ingredients in it that are not really necessary all the time for everything. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, and it's a thing right now, you know, I did a really short video the other day on, is something like scrambling your clarity, because this is it, isn't it? When we're overwhelmed, we don't have clarity about any one thing. It's all there, and it's all clamoring for our attention. So, and this is by design. This is what we've got to understand, family. There is all of these fucking distractions, distortions, everything vying for our attention by design, because your attention and your focus is your currency. It's your energetic wealth. It's your spiritual wealth. When everything's aligned in the now moment, your will, your attention, your focus, your desire, your passion is all in one alignment and focus towards one thing. That's super consciousness. It's super powerful. It's the power to create something, right, that's focused and conscious and intentional. So that's why there are a million different things in this world to pull us out of that, because then we're scrambled. We're essentially not creating anything by design. We're just ticking along by default and creating someone else's reality, feeding. We're being loosed because our attention is our energy, it's our currency. So this overwhelm feeling is actually something that it really does serve us to get out of, to understand what it is, to see it for what it is, and to apply very basic principles to enable us to firstly understand that we're just full. It's a fullness. It's like, wow, how blessed. I've got all of this, there's all this stuff in my field that's a potential, which you've created. Everything in your field, every potential, every happening, something that you've created, you've put there, because reality is just a divine mirror. It's mirroring back something you've already asked for, something you've already imagined. So all the stuff that's present or possible anyway, it's what we've put there, because we are super conscious co-creators. We're either creating by design or default, but we are always co-creating our reality. And if we feel overwhelmed, it's because suddenly our minds have gone into a million different spaces with it. But if we can draw that back to the truth, actually, I'm just feeling really full up right now. I'm full. And that has a different energy. It's actually a more positive energy. It's a more positively charged and optimistic energy than telling ourselves that we're overwhelmed. So it's like changing the script. Oh, I feel really full. And just breathing into that and bringing the conscious awareness back to the now moment breath. And just looking at, feeling, sensing what is actually present for us. And a lot of it that's causing the overwhelm is not actually relevant in this now moment. It really isn't. It's something that our mind is choosing to focus on, that we've lugged from yesterday or from the last now moment, or something that we're worrying about that's a potential, an uncertainty, and unknown from the future. So if we can kind of unpick all of this and just really be with what is present now, then we can start to observe a thread of action or non-action that actually is a realistic pathway or a possibility that is a functional good choice that we can actually act on in this now moment, rather than grasping for all these things that are in our field that are causing this feeling of overwhelm. Does that make sense? So yeah, there's something really grounding about the ability to come out of this overwhelm and to actually grasp what is present, truly present, and learn to be with that, to roll with that, to find that thread and work from there. We can do that all the time. Anything is possible. There isn't really anything that's too much for us when we're in the truth that we can really only completely be with and look at one thing at a time on any functional and useful level. So thank you for witnessing and receiving, because in the process of these sharings as well, I'm actually unpicking my own stuff, right? And getting to, working through all of this stuff the same as everybody else. We're all in this process of unpicking and this kind of layered process together. And just as we feel like we've got something down or we know something, there's another layer, right? Another aspect. And the potential for confusion, this scrambled feeling, is very, very real right now. And it's not just you, it's not just me. It's a really strong energy, because there's a lot of stuff that literally does wish us it wants to keep us in this confused, scrambled state energetically, because confused human beings are much more easy to control. You know, and it's not a conspiracy theory that people want to control us, things want to control us, the system wants to control us. I think we kind of all know that by now, right? So one of the ways to not be controlled is to identify and recognize all the ways in which it's working that way, you know, and to not participate with that. Part of reclaiming our power, sovereignty, sovereign being, is it's not gaining something that we don't already have. It's not finding a piece that's missing. It's simply moving everything out of the way that doesn't allow that, because it's our natural state to be sovereign and free. But we're not free because of all the overlays and the things that have been put in, the ways in which we are controlled. So a lot of this journey is literally identifying all of the ways that that's in place and moving that out of the way. And that is an inside job. It's happening within. We're extracting ourselves from this mental soup, this mental confusion, this mental overwhelm where everything is trying to pull us one way and the other. And in that state of being scrambled and pulled and distracted and overwhelmed, we're very easily controlled. Our energy is being loosed. Whew. So changing the overwhelm to fullness and keeping it simple, pulling everything out of the pot, the soup of the mind that isn't relevant right in this moment, isn't actually supportive and helping the potential action steps, the aligned action steps that are present, that we're being asked to take, but we can't sense them, we can't get clarity on them in the state of confusion and overwhelm. So yeah, I'm just sending you so much love. Thank you for being here. I'm very grateful and appreciative of this space and of all of you on here, and to any new subscribers as well, welcome to this space. And it's absolutely beautiful to just communicate, you know, from the heart, and just be vulnerable and present with who we truly are, right? So I'm sending you so much love, and yeah, until next time, family.